Well, we've had an absolute brilliant week, haven't we, at York? 3 days down, one left to go, and probably saving the best for last. The first ever running of a Group 1 City of York Stakes, and of course, the Ebor. Frankie and Jason alongside me. Jason, what a week it's been already. Fourth day upcoming, and the fields, they're getting even harder, aren't they?
Yeah, they're super competitive, which is what you expect. We always talk about when we arrive up north. Whenever there's been a good horse that's been in the paddock at this venue, they're 6 and 7 deep. Everybody wants to see a good horse. Good field. Excellent turnout for Ladies' Day. Not that I was looking, and it was perfect. Yeah, a lot on viewing. It was great.
Talking of Tomo's in training, Frankie was here as well. He's been enjoying the action. I say it's been always been a great week. You're right. Jason's right. It's always fantastic. I remember when Abel and Batash ran here, and you're right, they were 6, 7 deep just to get a glimpse of him in the parade ring. It's a real racing crowd up here, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that makes it more enjoyable as well. When people's attention is focused on the action and the horses, then it's easier for everyone to become a part of it. Whereas some race courses might be slightly guilty of, there's a race going on one side and there's the bar on the other. Whereas York, you certainly do notice at the start and end and during of every race, that kind of pre-parade to race to the winner coming back in, that's where the attention is. And I think it makes for a great day. So yeah, they do a brilliant job. There's a reason why the Jubbmont was voted the world's best race, because of the quality. And there's a reason why York have picked up plenty of accolades as well, because it's a great place to go and they do it well.
No race this week, been run for less than 100 grand here at York. Let's duck into Saturday's action. We start then with the Strensel Stakes over that 1.5 mile furlong. And we guess, Jason, at this point, the bullet point isn't going to run after his Clipper win on Thursday, which would leave a field of 7. Asheen Murphy and Andrew Bullen took it last year. They've got the impressive Goodwood winner here, Gladius.
Yeah, I mean, this is an absolute belter, because you can go round and round. I quite like the angle in with Skukuza. I thought that win over in Ireland, the last 2 wins over in Ireland, actually, big handicap, listed company, really, really impressive. And I think he was probably arguably unlucky not to win at the Royal Meeting last year. So he's always been held in high regard. I've got a sneaky feeling that Beaumark, we haven't seen the best of him. So look, it wasn't a great race that he managed to win here. I think he was 1-3 or something like that when he got the job done. But he's got a wonderful pedigree. He's back in at around about the right level. He needs a career best. It could easily be in the offing though, couldn't it?
I agree. Yeah, he's one horse that I've had on my radar. He probably bought a line for his French Classic run. Yeah, I think he's got a huge chance. Beaumont. Frankie, you in agreement, or are you elsewhere?
No, I am. Yeah, I think you'd hope he's got plenty of upside, and he was way too keen over in France, wasn't he? And even with being too keen, still ran a decent race up to the 1 mile and 1 furlong mark, which is today's trip. So he's back to a course he's won at. He's back to a slightly shorter trip, and I'm sure that he will settle a little bit better. And the Gosdens this year, they're having a great season. And when one of theirs that is potentially high class maybe doesn't run its race, they seem to be getting things sorted and getting tactics right or switching things up. And every time a good horse, it seems to be reaching its level and winning its race at some point. So you'd like to think, given where he's been campaigned already, he is one of those good horses and can probably put it all together.
Yeah, and agrees then. Beaumont unanimous in the opener. Nice. Right, we move on to the Melrose next. Then it's kind of like the 3-year-old Ebor, this one, Jace.
Yeah, I do like it. I quite like that there's a bit more this year around. It's not quite the condensed handicap we're used to. There's £10 between top and bottom. Probably the strongest 3-year-old stay in division sort of handicap going, really. I was leaning towards something that had shown plenty, and then all of a sudden switched tack and went for the low mileage improver. And that low mileage improver is Sea of Kings, who's a brother to Sea of Class, who goes for Harry Eustace. Now, I think he was probably lined up for Glorious Goodwood. Harry's really one of those going forward as a a top class trainer in the making, isn't he? He's had the Group 1 double breakthrough, which was absolutely remarkable. And Sea of Kings, I think he was got things wrong at Goodwood, upset in the stalls, rushed around, made a bit of ground. We probably haven't seen the best of him. So look, from a mark of 83, I like that angle in. He's a low mileage improver.
He is, yeah, low mileage and then low mileage on the clock as well, as you say. So yeah, Sea of Kings for Jason. Frankie?
To keep this show interesting, I better give two, haven't I? Because I do also like him. You know, I follow that Merchant King George V form off a cliff, and I was fairly sweet on Hulmes running a big race, as was James Owen. To be honest, he put more confidence in me following that form line because I popped into there not too long ahead of Goodwood, and he thought Hulmes would run a massive race, which he did. And I suppose if you're looking at Sea of Kings in behind him in fourth or fifth it was what he finished in the end, given how he started his race, I think that is a good performance, and definitely has a little bit more under the bonnet. So I agree there. I think he can come on for that Goodwood run if he is a bit more straightforward and probably better behaved in the stalls. But Many Men is also one that flags up as a result of following Merchant's very successful career. He finished third behind him here at York, and has since won the race last time out fairly impressively. He's on the up, not rapidly, and I'd say he is probably closer to his ceiling, whereas some of these might climb into the, get towards the 100 mark. I don't know if he will be that sort of horse, but Shane Murphy booked, a horse in good form. He's ran well at the course. He's got some decent form. So Many Men, I think, could run all right as well.
Yeah, it looks like a stay-going place. Impressive at Ascot against the Elders last time. Right, Jason, the first time the City of York has been run as a Group 1, and it has got a Group 1 field as well. It's an absolute brilliant contest. Of course, Rezalian, how much emphasis you placed on the Bruce for that ruled him out last week? Because Deauville's loss is very much York's game.
Yeah, look, I think we needed him, didn't we? Brilliant that Kirat is thrown into the mix as well, and I was pretty infectious the way that Beckett talked about him. Now, had the track been riding normally, i.e., I think that possibly, and I'm only a little pinch here, that it was slight overwatering in the early part going into the meeting. I know they want it safe for all, but there was no freewheeling up on the front end and getting away. We had winners coming from everywhere all throughout the week, suggesting that it's a little bit loose on the top. So, there have been horses. Remember when Quinault won here previously? He got going on the front end and he absolutely destroyed the field. Now, we know he's going to go forward. He's going to be the one who's going to set it up. So it makes Rezalian's life a lot easier. The way the track's riding, he's going to come back. He's going to come back this time. He might look like he's going to go. He'll take you to the furlong marker. So I think that's made Sean Levy's job a lot easier. I've talked a load of waffle to say that I like the favourite, haven't I? But that's about right. I think the Quinault is going to give him the perfect toe in. And that's what we want. We've been crying out for this to be a Group 1 forever.
It has, and yeah, it's finally got the reward that it deserves. It has always been a top-notch contest. And you're right, they've got Group 1 horses. So we went around the houses, but I know you've always been a fan of Rezalian. So you're with the Jolly here. Frankie?
Yeah, it's almost ironic, isn't it, that he gets upgraded to a Group 1 and the horse that for love nor money can't get a Group 1 might now get on the board here, almost as if they've upgraded it for him. Yeah, I was watching back the sectionals from Goodwood last night, and I just think that Rezalian put in a huge performance to get as close as he did, because Kirat did not slow down at all. So he had to make up a lot of ground on a horse that was not coming back to them whatsoever. And I think that's actually a huge performance. And as Jay said, Quinault will go out and make it a test. But even watching Quinault's success here last time out, he did start to slow up and he was getting a tiny bit legless in the closing stages. So I do just feel that Rezalian should be good enough. And if he does what he did at Goodwood, and if Sean Levy clicks the button in time, he's best horse in the race, isn't he?
Don't we also, all right, so we think, he's the best horse in the race, never so brave, is improving, Lake Forest, blah, blah, blah. We can go around all of them, can't we? And I think that they need something special. If there's one that's forgotten about in the market, And I know he can be a bit of a kink and a quirk, and he's been a talking point this year, or this meeting anyway, is Robert Hablin on audience. Right, he's got to be on the premises. We're going to forget about him. He's going to be a ridiculous double-digit price, you know. And if anybody doesn't want the favourite, he's the one who I think will call, or give them plenty to think about. He's talented.
Rab's had one taste of freewheeling on the front as well, hasn't he? So he might have almost had a boost of confidence from that, because I mean he finished third on the 200-1 Burr Castle, so he certainly won't be afraid to go and give it a kick.
Yeah,
and
like
he's a bona fide 7 furlong horse as well, isn't he? Audience. Right. Let's move on to the Ebor then. I'm going to start with you, Jason, because I know you like to find a big price outsider in these big handicaps. We had a chat about it the other day, and you just kept coming towards the front of the market because you think Willie Mullins has got a real strong hand.
Yeah, look, Hip Hop de Loire, or whatever you want to call it, is probably going to be a red hot favourite. I tried to look at his 25-1 shot, Charles, but it appears that the handicapper has probably got him about right. He went over, he won a little tin pot race jumping, and then he's come back. He doesn't look like he's holding anything. There are two horses that I like. They're both double digits when you shy away from the favourite, and I think that I'll be playing on the pair of them. One drawn 17, which is Majestic Warrior. He'd probably be the second pick. Have a look back at his Thirsk victory. It was an absolute demolition job. Now, he was coming back from a mammoth layoff, 23 months away from the track, and he absolutely bolted up. So he might, be a bit rusty, call it what you like. I love the fact he's got Ross Orion on. He's in spectacular form. It's been a great York for him. So he's one. And Enemy, what a way for Richard Kingscote to finish. He's just about sealed the 20 grand for top jockey with the Racing League. He's going to be off to Hong Kong. And Enemy, for all the world, is just one dangerously well handicapped runner. He was on 110 forever. He's now on 98. And if you went to a peak, I know they often, you get a false rating. He was 112 at one point. So he should get the perfect setup. Enemy each way, Majestic Warrior. They're two against what's going to be a skinny favourite.
I'm a big fan of Majestic Warrior myself, and I agree, same sentiments. Ross Orion had a great week already, of course, and lightly raced 5-year-old, so impressive last time. I think he's got a big chance. Frankie, what are you with in the Ebor?
Yeah, can't necessarily tip up the favourite, can we? But it is almost comical that he comes into this just £3 higher. And we've got Quijava in here, last year's second, carrying a fair bit more. We've got One for the Gutter. Was he second? I can't remember. The mixed placings anyway. The kind of 2, 3, 4 are all in here, lugging a lot more weight round. And then you've got one from Willie Mullins at the top of the market, who met a ridiculous amount of trouble, is only up £3, as romped at Galway last time in a hurdle race. All the signs are there for the favourite to go and win, but I'm sure they were last year as well. And he was in traffic, that was for sure. So Colin Keane will be hoping for a smoother passage. One at a price I like. Wouldn't put you off Sage of Troy with young Patrick McGettigan on board. Was fourth at the Royal Meeting behind Ethical Diamond. Is much better off at the weights this time around, especially when you take into consideration Patrick's £7 claim. So lightly weighted for a relatively inexperienced jockey, but one with some royal form and could go well.
Okay, there we are then. A few against the field, as you would hope for in an ultra competitive Ebor this year. And we've got another race on the ITV cameras as well. We signed off at York with a 410, a 6 furlong handicap, and 2 tribes. Has gone to war twice already in recent weeks, winning the International and the Stewards Cup. Jason Weaver likes that line. You saying about my segues. What wins this 410 then?
Oh, 2 tribes has gone to war. We like it, eh?
He's not called 3 tribes.
Yeah. Stand and deliver, right?
Very good.
I think that when you go through it, Jubilee Walk's probably going to attract a lot of attention. He's going to be a major player. I have to say that Zaire was mightily disappointed last time. Remember, we were following him, and he bumped into a couple of improvers throughout the way. Right down the bottom of the weights, Chief Mankato, that form has had a nice little boost, hasn't it? With Trefor going and scooting in on the opening day of the meeting. Now, he came from the clouds to win at Windsor. Look, it's not going to be easy, but he's drawn on the right part of the track in stall number 3. I'm a big fan of Jack Shannon. You know, we talked about a Harry Eustace. Shannon's definitely coming up through the grades, isn't he? Getting better and better with each season that he's training. And I just quite like that bottom weight angle in. He's going to be on the right part of the track and flashing home. Hopefully as well, Matt, he's a decent double-digit price. I should imagine he will be.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, it'd be a decent each way pricing in this big field. Chief Mankato and Frankie. Is it Twilight Calls?
It's got to be, hasn't it?
How many times?
Oh, how many times? I mean, the frustrating thing is, it kind of gets easier to make a case for him, doesn't it? Because, you know, he did run all right last time. He was on the other side of the track to the winner. He did hit the front. He's now much better off against the winner. He's ran well at York before, behind Quinault, I think it was. Like it actually gets easier to make a case for him. But how many times can you back a horse as a loser? There, yeah, this is probably the most backed losing horse I think I've ever taken a hold of. But I really couldn't put you off in each way better. Double figure price. Yeah, give me a squeak.
Proper cliff horse as well. It's just his price, isn't it? We've been backing him at 33s and 50s.
And to be fair, like we have said, you know, he's got in the place, as he, you know, once or twice, maybe he's given us a slight bit of change back. I'm not sure, but yeah, he's a big price. And for a horse that has lost a hell of a lot of form over the years, has actually put in a good performance last time out. So there is a sign of resurgence. But yeah, I will back him, Matt. I will for sure. If anyone's bored of me talking about it, Milford might run all right as well. Good couple of seconds on his tally and ran all right at the Shogun Cup meeting. And Prince of India, who won for Marco Botti, could actually be quite a smart horse. So yeah, Milford again, a nice price.
Oh, let's switch tack and then to Goodwood. Then look at a couple of races down there. We'll start with the 205 over 7 furlongs. And I noticed the Horse Watch, got a couple of the top of the weights. They've won the Golden Mile with Ross Collin, who's in here. And, of course, they won the Great St. Wilfrid in recent weeks. But this is a cracking little handicap. An interesting 3-year-old down the bottom, back in black, likely to head the market, Jace.
Yeah, when you go down through them, right, you go Royal Zabeel, yeah, only up 4, can win. Ross Collin, only up 4, can win. Great Acclaim, nudge 2, can win. And then you start going Mudbeer. Remember, he did us a favour. He's a half-brother to Mostadaf, who was an absolute rocket. And he kept the race in the steward's room at the end of the day at glorious Goodwood. Back in black, why, after such a demolition job at Newbury, hasn't he been seen? I remember I was working that day and Jamie Lynch was absolutely all over him, said this is going to be Royal Ascot bound. Don't expect this to be up out into Patent Company later in the season. There's obviously been some sort of problem. But look, he's he absolutely... Danny Muscat, who's one of the tallest riders in the weighing room, he's getting down to 8 stone 9 to ride him. That's got to be a big point to his chances. So yeah, top of the pack, very boring favourite, but he could be anything.
Yeah, he certainly could be. So obviously I had an issue, but obviously they were certainly aiming high, and it's just to bring him back here in this handicap, and is well berthed in stall 4 as well, Frankie.
Yeah, can see your case for sure. I'm going to stick with Great Acclaim though, for the hat trick, and Charlie Bishop, his regular rider, stays on board, which doesn't give him a huge advantage in a field that's littered with very top pilots. But with some at York and some jockey changes, he maintains that regular partnership. And as Jay said, only nudged up. You know, he's been winning and hasn't been climbing the handicap weights too much. So I'll give him another go. Hat trick.
Okay, yeah, we know we like to sit at the track. Right, let's look at the 240 then. A 1.5 mile handicap. Prince of the Seas, odds on favourite down the bottom, the only 3-year-old. This is a massive opportunity for young Jack Dace, Jace.
Yeah, it is. Is he odds on, is he, at the moment? So he's Well, I suppose if you were to look back, he was far too keen in the Shergar Cup, wasn't he? And then he sort of finished off. Slots in here, you wait for age allowance. He's got an official rating of 92, so he's joint second top rated in the lineup. I'll go down through the others, and a less Majestic would have bounced back to form that he had previously. Obviously, he's been over in Bahrain and picking up a good bit of money. That is very, very boring at the top of the pack. But Prince of the Seas, Jack Dace, yeah, getting a good couple of opportunities as well, hasn't he? I think that his dad, he was obviously under his wing for a little while, and then he sent him down to Rafes, and he appears to be climbing the ladder quite nicely.
Yeah, he certainly is. Yeah, big opportunity for him in front of the ITV cameras. Frankie?
Yeah, I think he should win, the favourite. Give him a shout. Shergar Cup weekend, mostly off the back of him being entered and running in 2 Betfred Derby trials, which didn't work out for him, but he's calmer for his gelding up, you'd like to think, or it's worked. Something's happened because he managed to run an all right race last time. Seems the one to beat. Pretty boring, but nice opportunity for Jack Dace.
We saw what a gelding operation did for a horse in this show, the Pride of Aris, this week as well. Right, gents, 7 races covered. Jason, what's the best bet of the weekend?
I'm going to knock it out of the park early doors and get it all in the wallet, because we do like a few shorties, don't we? But I think that Beaumark in the Strensel, he's just got that untapped potential, wonderful pedigree. Gosdens are in decent form. Would have liked to have seen them a little bit more animated when they were watching Ombudsman win, though, wasn't he? You know what I mean? Even when he went clear, there was no fist pump. There was no anything else. And but let's hope he's got a little yay as Beaumark starts to go clear.
Yeah, I think Beaumark's got a use. I think there was more relief more than anything, because I think
possibly,
here we go again.
he was
more relief, and then the steward's inquiry came out, and everybody went like that.
There was that Mike Dinch cranking up the drama in the parade ring as well with the objection.
Oh yeah, I'd say there was a few swear words going Rab's way in John's head at the 2 furlong pole.
They were spooked.
Quick fire double for me then, Matt. We'll go Seer Kings because we were in the second race from York off the back of his decent finishing run at Goodwood, despite a poor start in what I think is a race that might hold up well for form. So Seer Kings in the second.
Top stuff. Brilliant. Thanks, boys. Thanks for joining us this week as well. We've seen plenty of Jason and Frankie across our Betfred channels. We go once more then on Ebor Day on Saturday, hopefully saving the best from last. Whatever you're back in this weekend, the very best of luck.